Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jamie Trujillo, and I am going to be moderating our October Tech Talk, which is the many sides of Google Slides, being presented by our own Terry Gustafson, who is actually having a birthday today, but I promised I wouldn't sing to her, so happy birthday, Terry. So I will, just before we get started, please make sure that you are logged in on YouTube with your NM Delta account so that you can access the chat. If you have any issues with the chat box, you can message me through Google Hangouts on your NM Delta account. Just look for Jamie Trujillo and you can message me directly through Hangouts. But no matter how you message me, please just make sure you put your name and your program name into the chat so that we can give you credit for your attendance. Terry will also be able to open it up to questions at the end of the webinar. So if you have any questions as she's going along, please feel free to ask them in the chat. And then at the very end, I will ask them to Terry. So with that, I will hand it on over to Terry.
Jamie, you weren't supposed to say anything about me turning 30 today.
Anyway. I couldn't help it.
So I hope everybody can hear clearly. We are going to do the many sides of Google Slides today. And this will be our table of contents. And actually, I thought I should use an interactive table of contents because that's one of the neat things that you can do in Google Slides. It's such a great design tool and has so many collaborative features that it's not just used for slideshows. It's used for all kinds of assignments. So creating an interactive table of contents means I can click on each of these topics and it'll take me to the slide that it's about. So we're going to start here with create an interactive table of contents. And so what can we use this for? A table of contents can be useful for your students and viewers to quickly navigate to sections of your slides. And we're going to show you some really neat things to do because it has this feature of connecting slides. So some of the steps when we're trying to connect a slide is click on the insert link. And we're going to go into more detail about the insert link. We're going to go into a demo presentation for that. We're going to link to slides in the presentation, and we're going to type in text for the table of contents. So it's always useful to include a little home button so you can get back to the table of contents. So we see these basic features here. Everything in green and this red are actually interactive, so I can click on them and jump to the appropriate slide. Basic features are for those who are just beginning with Google Slides. They have some new features made available, and some of them are in the toolbar and the menus. So insert, for example. Many of the ideas I'm going to give you today have to do with what we have in the insert. And so we're going to go to a practice document here, or a practice slide, I should say. Our slides demo, and we're going to show you live what we can do with insert. So some of the things we're doing today is inserting images and videos, and that's how it begins. So how do we do that? To insert an image, there's different ways we can insert it. We can upload from the computer, we can search the web, we can search the drive, we can search our camera, and we can do it by URL. So let's go ahead and search the web because that's very cool. It gives you royalty-free images that you can place into your Google Doc. So what should we search for today? How about a birthday cake? So whatever you happen to be teaching at the time, you can search for. I just picked this one randomly. And how we insert these pictures is we go to one we like. Oh, purple, one of my favorite colors. Click on it, and you'll see this little thing that says insert. Just click insert. And there you go. It inserts it right into your slide. We can also copy and paste this by doing a Control-C and a Control-V, and then dragging the copy to wherever we need. So this is going to become very useful when we start doing some of the activities that I have lined up. I'm going to go backwards here a little bit and show you how to insert a video. Inserting YouTube videos is pretty easy. We go to Insert, go to Video. Where is Video? There it is. I passed it. And so any YouTube video that you can find, you can enter it by URL. or you can include a search. So this really cool talking dogs video I like a lot. It was very popular. I get a kick out of it. I'm going to search for that, for example. And there it is. So to insert that video, I'm going to click on it and select it. And it'll pop it right in there. Now I can drag and drop this. And one cool thing, a feature that you have in Google Slides is if you press down your shift button, when you're dragging these ends, it will keep it in proportion. So I'm holding down my shift button and I'm dragging that. And there you go. We can't see the video normally until we present. And then we check the video.
Food. No, I just couldn't stop thinking about it. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. So, I went to the fridge and I opened up the meat drawer. You know what the meat drawer is, right? Yeah. What was in there? Well, I'll tell you what was in there. You know that bacon that's like maple? Got maple flavor? The maple kind, yeah. Yeah, so yeah. I took that out and I thought, yeah, I know who would like that. Me. So I ate it. Oh, no.
So there we go with the video. Very cute. Another thing we can do is actually have some format options on where to start the video and where to stop the video. It's within these format options. You can see right here, start and stop and autoplay. So we're going to go backwards and look at some of the other features that we mentioned in the table of contents. Okay, so my little home button, it comes in really handy when I'm doing this. Format. Formatting, as you saw when we did formatting for the video, we increased the size and things like that. We're going to go to that doc again. And what format will allow you to do, as soon as it loads, format will allow you to move, rotate, or change the size of an object on your computer and present it for Google Slides. We would have to put a picture in here, so let's insert something, an image. You can upload, by the way, from your computer, and we do that by clicking the upload. And I am sure I have a picture in here. Hopefully it's a good one. Oh man, that's me and Max. Anyway, so we would format, and we have format options for how to size and position that, how to rotate it, how to recolor it. Well, that was pretty revealing. Going back to our tech talk and going home, we covered format. We're going to cover tools. So they've added some different tools that we can use now. And my favorite is the Explore button. So if we were to click on Tools and use Explore, what it's going to do, it's going to give us suggested layouts based on what we put in our presentation. So I'm actually going to insert a slide, or I'm importing a slide here so I can show you how that works. So these are all the slides I've created in the past. Let me find an older one. And it's going to insert a slide in there. I'm going to pick this one, select. And I'm just going to pick one slide so I can show you how this works. I click on the slide I want. I import the slide. And by using this feature, when I click on Tools and I click on Explore, it gives me all kinds of layouts. Is that cool or what? So we have different layouts and stuff here, and it actually allows us to do some more searching or web searches related to the content images that we include in here. So we have two. If I wanted to change this to this layout, I just click this and it would put a different layout on it. And there's all kinds of choices it usually gives you. So that's a very cool option if you're not used to doing a presentation or you want it to look real spiffy for some national conference or something. Going back home, the menu is pretty basic. We have the different backgrounds, layouts, themes, transitions. So those of you who are familiar with slides probably know most of this. But here, actually, we have shortcuts to put images in and things like that. It's great for commenting using these things because we can insert like different shapes and things. It's like a shape like an arrow. If we inserted an arrow, This is really helpful when we come to commenting on students' presentations and things, because it kind of says, here I am, and actually any shape that you put in there becomes a text box, so you can type in there. Yikes. And it becomes a text box. So it's really good for commenting. I'm clearing my slate here a little bit, and we're going back to the tech talk. And last but not least, I didn't cover add-ons. Add-ons are very cool. Add-ons you're going to download to put into your presentation, and they work with other programs. So, for example, one of the add-ons that you might like to check out, and I have a couple downloaded. I have Audio Player downloaded, which includes music in my slides. If you like Pear Deck, you can get it imported and embedded in your slides. And to get add-ons, you just click on that, and they have various kinds depending on what you need. And you can see here, Pear Deck, things like that. Okay. And we're going to clear that and go back. And now, I believe it's time to take a little break and cash in. This is the time where we ask ourselves, what would Cash do? So thankfully, and thank you, Cash, he has supplied us a video.
Hi everybody, Cash Clifton here from the NM team, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about Google Slides. Rather than having my contact information on the screen today, I'm going to show you how you can get in contact with me through our website. So right here, this is our website, www.nmdelt.org. Hover your mouse over Connect with us. You can either click on Support to submit a request through a Google form, or click right here on Meet the Team. On Meet the Team, you can come down here, you can see how to contact the entire NM team. So right there is my contact information. So I'm going to talk to you about how to create a little review game using Google Slides. So to do so, I'm going to go to google.com. At a training recently, somebody asked me how I first learned Google tools, and the way I learned it is by Googling how to do things. So for example, if I want to make a little review game, I might Google free template, Google Slides. You notice it was in my search history there. It's because I've looked for this before as I practiced the webinar. So I'm going to click there. And right here, I see Jeopardy game 5 topic template through Google Slides. So I'm going to click on that. And it brings me to this nice template that is view only. So notice right here, I can see that it's view only, and here's some instructions on the second slide. The third slide, here's a Jeopardy board, so you can create topics for different values. So if I present here, for example, if I want to do topic 3 for 200, it takes me to topic 3 for 200. I click here to see the answer, and I click here to go to the Jeopardy board. So I'll hit escape to get out of that presentation. So it's kind of a cool template. And as you can see here on slide 4, that's topic 1, the $100 question, topic 1, the $100 answer. So all you really have to do is go and change the name of the topic on each slide and type in your questions and answers. It's really great to use. But again, notice I'm in view only. So I want to be sure to make a copy of this to be able to use it. So right here, I click on File, go make a copy. And then I decide what I want to name this. So I might, let's see, for today, I think I will call it Tech Talk Practice Review. Here it's automatically going into a folder. I probably don't want to put that necessarily to the biochemistry folder. I'm going to put this here into my drive and click Select. So it's going into my drive. And notice I have a new tab automatically popping up here. Let's see, let me get to the correct tab. There we go. So now you can see the copy I created. And so I can now go through here and edit. So pretty quick way to do that. Now let's say I want to share this with my students. Google Classroom would be a good way to do that. So I'm going to come over here, Classroom, jeopardy.google.com. I'm going to choose just a random classroom. So let's see, I have test 87 down here for demonstration purposes, so I'll add something here. If you haven't been in Google Classroom lately, it's updated. We now have a stream and a classwork page. So I'm going to come over here to classwork. I'm going to go ahead and create, and I'm going to post this as material for my class to use. I'm going to post material, call this practice review. So this is something that my students can use. Maybe remind them we covered this in class. You can choose a topic. That's a way you can kind of group things into modules. I'm not going to do that. Here is an attachment file. So if you did this in a PowerPoint, you could upload a PowerPoint here. Here, I'm going to go to Drive. Notice it defaults to recent in my Drive. And there's the very first thing, because I just did it, the Tech Talk Practice Review. I'm going to add that. And I'm going to go ahead and post it. So now all of my students can go in and have access to this practice review. So that is a tech talk that I enjoy doing. Thank you for your time, and I'd like to turn it back over.
Okay, let's escape from this and go back. And thank you, Cash, for that shameless plug-in for NMDelt. And who doesn't love a Jeopardy game? So those of you out there listening live, if you'd like to continue these segments with time to cash in and what would cash do, give us a little smiley face in the chat box now. We're going to move on because we got some exciting activities to do. So we're going to go back home to link vision boards, Google Classroom ideas for those of you who need them. Visualization is one of the most powerful mind exercises you can do. This great example is provided by Kristen Waring, who works for ACE and NMDelt, and we are going to check it out. This is a vision board from Barbie, I believe, that is very colorful, explaining Barbie's vision board and her goals. So as soon as it loads, we're going to present. This is really easy for students to do, and it's good for them to envision their goals because it makes them more real. So this is a vision board about Barbie, and notice spelling Barbie doll. What does she want in life? Well, she likes pink, obviously. Love, peace, and joy. And look at her purple horse there. I kind of would like to leave the Barbie life myself, I think. So here's her page, things about me. I'm going to marry Ken. I want to live in a big house. I love to travel with my sisters and friends. She likes to drive fast in her Corvette, and she loves her beautiful unicorn rainbow. And pink is her favorite color. So students can kind of envision the dreams that they have and the goals that they have by doing this assignment. It takes 3 Google Slides. It's very easy to do. And I'd like to thank Kristen for supplying that for the Tech Talk. Another great idea is, many of you might have tried this using Screencastify video tutorial, so you don't have to repeat yourself 1,000 times. So I created this video tutorial for students who seem to forget how to get into Ed-Ready all the time, and posted it in my classroom. And it cuts out on having to repeat yourself. To show you how to log into Ed-Ready, a program that we use that will increase your skills for your high school equivalency or to enter college. So this comes in really handy when you have new students, or you're training instructors and things, because it gives them an option to stop and play the video over and over. Live, you can't really rewind yourself, so this is really nice. Another thing that we can do, especially for those who are taking high sets and who have test anxiety, is to insert timers into our assignments. We can find these on YouTube. We can just download them with that YouTube link I told you about. And for the sake of time, this kind of keeps them on tasks and gets them in the practice of taking the test. Since the average high set question you figure is going to take a minute or so in order to complete in time, we can use this so they get into the practice and they're not so stressed out. I'm taking it to the end here so you can hear it. That means time is up. That's an indication that time is up. Have you thought about creating comic strips in Google Slides? There's some great templates out there, and I love this Scooby-Doo comic. You can make comics in Google Slides and make each frame of the comic its own slide. So you can even present this as a template, and what it looks like, this template in particular, it's really cool. The students would just have to change the text that's here. They would change the text in the speech bubbles, and they can create their own Scooby-Dooby-Doo kind of comic. So these are out there. They're free. If you want to check out the slide presentation, I have links to all these. And so they know where to type. They would just put in their own kind of speech bubbles. Another thing that we can do is, let's go back home. This is my favorite. Jamie, you're going to love this. Ebooks. Creating an ebook with slides. So I have two examples here, one I did and one I found, which is a template. Because of the ability to link a slide with a slide, like I did with the interactive table, we can have stories that actually, if you click on one link, gives a different choice. So if you take one pathway, as in the Dragon Quest, it leads to a different path and a different set of consequences. So here we have the Google Slides Choose Your Own Adventure, and this is the Dragon Quest. So it gives a little background of the story. And as we move on, let's move on to slide 3. Still, we're talking about a little bit of background. We can continue. And here is a background of the actual place it exists. So this is where the linking slides comes in handy. So we pick one of these options, and each of these options will have different consequences. So assigning a consequence to a certain student, you can assign that slide. Okay, what if they go to the peddlers for supplies? What will happen? What if they continue on without supplies? So it creates this interactive kind of thing depending on what choice you make. So I am not sure which one I should do. So I'm going to continue with the slides, and obviously it ended my story here. So I would have to go back to the beginning and learn from my slide and learn a lesson. So this one is really cool. It clicks back to the beginning, makes us reread the whole thing over again. Bam, 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 until we get to that decision again. And this time I know what to do. I'm going to go to the peddler for the supplies. And then here's another choice I have to make after reading the text. Do I take the right path? Do I take the left path? And this is all really easy to do when we connect one slide to the other. Okay, going back to my tech talk, wherever it is. I have so many windows open. My storybook. Students come in with so many different stories, and they're all fascinating. So creating a template and slides for them to put their story is a really good idea. So I just did something simple as created a slide where they put the title. And I found that picture because I thought it was a really cool picture for their title. And I guess it didn't download yet because I have too many things open. But it's supposed to have the hitchhiker kind of guide to download here. So you create this template, and they have areas where they're just going to enter the text. You can leave instructions for them to add pictures on the other side. And you give them each a copy, and they can write their story. They can actually change pictures and put all kinds of things. And this really is a good project because you'd be surprised how much they really get into this. Everybody wants to tell their story. Going on to the next. Really neat activity. Gifs and animations. Now, I keep saying I'm not very tech savvy, but really it's kind of tech simplicity. So when it comes to gifs and animations, I thought it would be too complicated. But what I've learned is that I can design a series of slides and then go to this place that's free called talltweets.com. I sign in with my Google account. I enter a width in pixels. I enter the slides and how long the duration between slides should run. So it's going to play the slides in succession. And then I click a create GIF button. So it's very simple. And so what I've created is a dancing couple here. Now, I thought that was very cool. It was really easy to kind of put in there. And so if you kind of get a copy of these slides, it'll have more instructions about how to do this. but who doesn't want to create an animation? These are very useful for all kinds of things. You can use them as your profile. You can use them when you're commenting on students. It kind of draws attention and focus to certain areas. They can, let's see, you can use them on your websites. Unlike a video, these are really easy to see, and you just need to press play to get them done. Okay, we have video mashup next. This is another great idea. Now, I just tried this the other day. This is the actual template. So what you do is you choose a video. I don't know if any of you are familiar with video mashups, but they mash the videos together. So this template you can copy for your own classroom, and you would insert a video here, and then you insert another video on the other side, and they'd edit that name. So here are the directions. Basically, you're just inserting and formatting a video. And here's the template. And then you want to go further and ask them to explain why they put those two videos together. So I created one really quick, and I kind of mashed the double rainbow video with the Skittles commercial. And so what resulted was this. I'm hiding one of them.
Oh my gosh, it is a double rainbow. I cannot believe it. It's a freaking double rainbow. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Look at that. All the way. Oh my heck. It's a double rainbow. Hey Cal, look at that. It's a double rainbow. Oh my gosh.
So you can pick whatever videos you think would mash together the best. That was a really quick one, and if I can do it, you can do it. Included with these slides, we need to find some free clip art and some royalty-free music so can make it interesting. So I've included some sites here where you can find free royalty-free clip art and music. And you can check out those sites. I included a copy of the link for this presentation right here in the last slide. And if you have any questions, you can find me at this email address. And a special thanks goes out to Kristen Waring for her vision board, and a special shout out to Cash Clifton for his cash-in expertise. So now, if there's time remaining, I'd like to get some comments or open up the chat a little.
There's actually one question, because it is right at 3:30, but Kristen asks, what would be the purpose of mashing videos?
The purpose of, that's a very good question. So the purpose of mashing a video is to find two relevant things that can be interchanged, just like you interchange content when you're teaching. Sometimes we're teaching a math lesson that also integrates like social studies. So that is the first thing that comes to mind when I talk about mashing videos together. And plus it gives them the technology skills for the 21st century. Inserting a video and you know, dealing with the formatting of the video.
Thank you, Terry. I believe that was our only question. We did get a whole lot of smiley faces.
Yay! Smiley faces back.
So yes.
And so you can find this recording, and you can find a copy of the slide presentation at that link. So I'm so happy.
We just got one more question. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Ronald asks, how do you add the home button to slides?
The home button, that's a really good question. I want to go back to the actual beginning of this because I don't think I went through that so well. So let's go back to where we were talking about the basics. And that would be here. So I'm just going to click this because it'll take us back to here. So to insert the link, let's bring this up. I'm going to have a slide. We have to have a couple slides because we're going to link it back to the home. So let's say I titled this home. So I'm going to insert a text box and call this home. And I'll need another slide, new slide. To insert another, I'm going to insert this and I'll call this end or something. So actually, click on that, call it end. So to link it to the first one, which is the home, I'm going to go here and I can either right click and choose link, or I can go here and insert link down here. And we have this option, slides in this presentation. I'm going to insert this to link back to the first one. So I'm going to put slide 1. And then if I needed some text, actually, I could type text up here, which is where I get home. Apply that, and it actually puts a link, and you can't see it necessarily. Let me make it over a little bit more so until I present it. But now when I click on home, it'll link it back to the home. And I hope that helped.
Thank you, Terry.
You're welcome.
All right, it looks like we have a bunch of people saying thank you, so I think we're done.
Thank you, Jamie, and thank you guys for attending, and I hope to see you in our next webinar.
Yes, thank you, Terry, and everyone have a great afternoon.